अर्थाय प्रतिबोधिता भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथिता पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवदेशिनी. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest. You might be wondering why I am reciting a shloka, especially when I have to deliver, to speak professionally. Here, I thought of sharing my views and bringing parallel Bhagavad Gita to management. This shloka is a very remarkable prayer to invoke and to illuminate light from the darkness. Bhagavad Gita, I have heard of this long back, and I have recited a poem during the youth festival. But I didn't know the meaning or what was the purpose behind that book. I just went and recited the same poem, which I have recited to you, everyone. After some time, some years, when I was working in Bangalore, I had a job, I had a family, but I was feeling vacuum inside me. I didn't know what that was. Everything was fine. Everything was perfectly fine. I was thinking something is missing in me. What it was, I didn't know. And again, after some years, my mother gifted me a pocket-friendly book of Bhagavad Gita to me. When I started reading, it was written in Sanskrit. And later, I looked to the translated portion, which was in English. Slowly, I started reading the book. And I understood that more than a Hindu religious book, it was something else. It has a profound knowledge which can uplift human beings. Basically, we have three characteristics: animal instinct, human being, and divinity and divine. Being an animal instinct, we always keep boundaries. But being a human, we always try to expand. We try to move out from the boundaries which is limited. When I read Bhagavad Gita, I understood that this can be applied in my organization. There are many techniques that was very uplifting. Bhagavad Gita is a 700 verse holy book. And this is a conversation between Arjuna, the Pandava prince, and Lord Krishna, which this incident happened 5,000 years ago during the Kurukshetra war. Arjuna had to fight against his clans. He was very depressed. He didn't know what to do. He's a great warrior, but even though he was missing something in him. And that was a time Krishna gave enlightening message to him. He gave him the word of wisdom and truth. And that's how he was motivated and he started fighting against his clans in the Kurukshetra war, the epic of Mahabharata. The primary purpose of this book is to illuminate the humanity, to understand who we are, to understand our potential and the purpose. Each person has their potential. Rather than trying to imitate the other person, it's always better to be imperfect, to be who you are, and to do your duties. These are the techniques that I learned from Bhagavad Gita. The first verse, the first shloka, that is Karmanyevati karaste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala durbu ma te sangotsava karmane which means that we have to be dedicated. Whichever task you are, it doesn't matter of which level of title you are entitled, which level of title you are assigned, whether you are a worker, whether you are a street worker, whether you are the president, whether you are a teacher, we all have to do our duty. And when we do our duty, we shouldn't be attached the fruit of it. The reason behind, when we think about the fruit, about the end result, we won't be able to focus on our work. We get distracted because, as we see here, Arjuna was thinking about the end result. What will happen to his uncle? What will happen to his cousins? And that's when Krishna told him not to think too much about the end result. This is the war of dharma, righteousness, because since his cousins doesn't know how to treat women, that's the reason this war has happened. In an organization also, whenever we are given a work, we need to do the work with utmost faith, sincere, and discipline. Second is self-transcendence. Dukkeshva anuvikna manaha sukheshu vikadaspiraha, which means that our mind should be undisturbed. When we think about many things, our mind will be disturbed. There's a difference between a monk and a monkey mind. We have the tendency to think too much. It travels faster than the wind. Like a monkey, our mind also travels. A person who has stable mind is called as a monk, who is able to monitor his emotions, his thoughts, and his feelings. It doesn't mean that he has to be perfect. It means that day by day, he has to conquer that, he has to manage it. The person, a being, when you are working in an organization, we shouldn't crave for pleasure and we should be free from attachment, fear, and anger. And that is the sage of steady wisdom. Chanjalam hi mana Krishna pramadi balabhadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayor ivasu dukkagaram dushkaram. As I have told earlier, we need to have a stable mind. The mind should be fixed. To have the mind fixed, we should concentrate, which is something bigger than us. When we try to concentrate on things which is lesser than us, our mind gets disturbed. So focus on the divine. It's just like your charger. When you try to charge your phone, when only the battery is running, you will be able to send messages, you will be able to make a call. But what happens when the battery comes down? You won't be able to make a call. That's how we work. Our geometry should be proper. For to get our geometry proper, we have to meditate. Elevate yourself. Uddharet atmanatmanam natmanam avshadet, which means that instead of blaming other people, instead of blaming the society, the government, the key to all the problems is in our hand. We should understand that if we are able to control our mind, we can elevate ourselves. And when we start degrading ourselves is that when we don't understand us, we need to introspect, we need to look inwards and see who we are. Our mind can be a friend or an enemy. It depends on us. The path of righteousness, dharma. Ethics plays a very important role in an organization. When we have to do our work, we have to do it for our organization. That should be our primary motive. Adachetpam imam dharmyam sangaramam na karishyasi. Here Arjuna was refusing to fight the war because he doesn't want to fight against his relatives. But that war was for dharma. To establish dharma, he has to fight the war, whatever may be the consequences. Same way, whatever is given to us, we have to do with religious practice. These are the three criteria. These are the these paths, that is a karma, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the dedication towards your work. Jnana yoga is the knowledge, and karma is the action. Whenever you do an action, the intention behind the action is very, really important. So, what I learned from this is that in an organization, when I started working after reading this Bhagavad Gita, it helped me a lot. I was able to coordinate with my team members without expectation, without thinking about the fruits, without thinking about the results. I was happy, I was joyful. Whenever I was given a task, I will do it, not thinking about the future, but thinking about the present moment. Involvement is better because rather than thinking about the future, what future may bring to us, when you think about what we can do today, how we can become a valuable contribution to your the society, to your family, to the people nearby, that is the utmost importance. Being a person, being a human. Any one of us can be a human being, but to become a person, to being human is really important. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Vidhi.
Yet another superb speech, Toastmaster Vidya. Thank you for the great insight from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita Best